So obnoxious. Wearing a Baker Mayfield jersey. You're such an obnoxious.
Yeah, buddy. How was last Sunday?
Oh,
what's up?
Oh, a bunch of field goals.
Hey, 2 wins. What? 2 more wins than they had in 600 previous days.
Listen, you're just here.
This is the first jersey I've ever put on that didn't have my name on the back. Because it's Mayfield. Yeah!
Is this what Colin's going to get every time?
Oh, God. Baker Mayfield. It was a field goal contest.
Joy, Colin deserves it.
I don't disagree with you.
Thank you. There we go. See? So, yeah, maybe every time he wins, I'm going to wear the jersey.
Although, did you agree with me that because I said that Baker should be starting from week 1?
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
By the way, did you watch Sam Darnold last week? Holy moly. Home run balls, fireworks show. Boom. You see who he's throwing to?
You try to make this about like I don't like Darnold. I love Darnold.
He's
That's
throwing
the thing.
Terrell.
I never said, here's the difference. You know what the difference is?
What?
I never said, Darnold's undraftable. I would. That's what you said about me. Undrafted.
Yeah,
I'll take him off my board. Didn't grab his junk.
He didn't grab his junk. He didn't have a cop video. If Darnold was grabbing his junk and had a cop video, boom, out of here.
Guess what Mayfield has?
What?
Cop video, junk, and 2 wins. Bang.
Shut up. You're a jerk.
I love it.
Okay,
let's go.
College football gets
go.
really good. Let's start with this. I'm going to say it again. I'm seen as a Notre Dame hater. Joel, I think they're getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is the best Notre Dame team I have seen since Lou Holtz's time. I'm serious.
I'm absolutely with you on this. The meat of their schedule is over. They have performed beautifully, and you got to give Brian Kelly a lot of credit because I think it takes guts to take a quarterback that wins a job early and say, even though we haven't lost, I'm going to make a change because I think we can be better. And with Ian Book at quarterback, they are considerably better on the offensive side.
You know what they are? They're Alabama going from Jalen Hurts to Tua.
Yeah, maybe not that. I mean,
no, I'm not
I get what you're saying, though.
But they are a completely different offensive dynamic. They throw the ball down the field significantly better. Therefore, when I prepare for him, I have to cheat a little bit, and their running game's more effective.
The running game, and Dexter Williams is back off of that suspension from early in the year. I'm a big fan. Jerry Tillery is terrific on the defensive side. That defense is real, and they're going to be favored in the rest of their games. And I'll say this again as well. Notre Dame's going to have a considerably better resume than Clemson, even if both are undefeated. If it comes down to the 2 of them,
Notre Dame,
I would pick Notre Dame all day long. I think Notre Dame is headed straight for a playoff berth, and deservedly so this year. They're a great football team.
No, all you have to do is watch Notre Dame. First of all, this kid, I'm not going to talk about NFL. Ian Book's a real player.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, he's a real quarterback.
Well, they didn't score over 24 points in their first 3 games. He comes into the lineup, it's like bang, bang, bang. Here we go. Now they're an offensive team that you've got to deal with on that side.
Never forget the first 2 offensive linemen taken in last year's draft were Notre Damers.
Yep.
They have got NFL Sunday players on their offense and defense. Their defensive line through Michigan for the first half around the football field. Let's transition to Michigan. Yeah. You and I like Harbaugh.
Yeah, I'm a Harbaugh supporter.
Totally Harbaugh supporter. Next 3-4 weeks?
The entire – listen, if Harbaugh is able to succeed in the next few weeks, he will put to bed all these hot take artists that like to call him a poor college football coach, because he's not. He's terrific. He's taken Michigan to another level. And right now, you better watch out because Michigan is getting better in the areas where they needed to improve the most. O-line, namely, and quarterback. So since Notre Dame, Shea Patterson has 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And their offensive line last year gave up 2.8 sacks per game. That was near last in the Big Ten. Now it's 1.3 sacks per game. So they've cut that by over a half. I got to tell you, Michigan is in a spot. Number 1 defense in the country. Number 1 yards per play defense in the country. Number 1 pass defense in the country. Karan Higdon's averaging about 120 yards per game on the ground. That's a real team that is better than Wisconsin. They're better than Michigan State. And they've got Penn State at home.
No. I like them this weekend to beat Wisconsin.
I do too.
I also like them to beat Michigan State. Then they get a bye.
A bye and then Penn State.
Penn State's great at home. Penn State's not the same team. They're literally emotionally, they're very young at spots. I think Michigan's going to win their next 3 big games. And I'm telling you, all these, as you call them, hot take artists are going to be bowing in front of you and I when they see us. Hey, Harbaugh can't coach. Hey, have you watched football in the last 12 years?
He's a terrific coach.
Okay. You know I don't even know why this is. I like Austin, Texas. I like Texas football.
But didn't you call Michigan and Texas not football schools?
Yeah, first of all, I'm
just asking.
No.
Isn't that
I
what you
said
said?
when I think of Ann Arbor and Austin, when I think of Austin, I think of music, food, South by Southwest, Michael Dell Computers, and a great university.
I mean, let's
when
be
I
honest,
think of Alabama,
that's a you problem.
it's not a you problem. I am giving a compliment to Texas because it's a broad, major, international, harvesting great students. It's got a medical center, a law school. When I think of Auburn, I think of football.
Okay.
I think of LSU, I think of football. When I think of Texas, 6th Street, music.
So you're just saying it's bigger than just football.
Texas, University of Texas is not defined by their football team. That city's not defined by it. And all these Texas Longhorn people, hook 'em horns, are killing me. And I'm like, it was a compliment. But I will say this. It was fun watching them beat Oklahoma.
Well, I tell you, that fan base, you got to understand now, that fan base has been desperate for a decade to be back to this point where they're controlling their own fate in the Big 12, where they have a real head coach, where they have a real defense, where they have a real quarterback. This is exciting for Texas, and it's exciting for the Big 12 because Tom Herman is legit. I understand people gave him a lot of grief last year for losing his first 4 games at Texas to ranked teams. He was 6-0 at Houston against ranked teams, and everyone was like, he's the giant slayer. And then it didn't happen early against Texas, and they lost those close games. Remember USC out here in the Coliseum?
Yeah.
Remember Oklahoma State late. They lost to them.
Well, those are 2 NFL quarterbacks they
lost to Mayfield late.
Yes, they lost to 3 NFL quarterbacks, and they had a freshman quarterback. Of course they didn't win those games.
And so now all of a sudden, what did you start to see? You know, they've won their last 4 games against ranked opponents. They've won 3 of them this season, which is the most wins against ranked opponents of anybody in the country outside of Notre Dame. So Notre Dame and Texas have 3 wins against ranked opponents right now. Texas is legitimate. And I'll just add this in there. There's 4 contenders in the Big 12. West Virginia, TCU, Oklahoma, and Texas. Only one of those 4 teams has a win against any of the others, and it's Texas against 2 of them, TCU and Oklahoma, which means West Virginia goes to Texas on November 3rd. That's for the right to go to the Big 12 championship game. That team, it's going to take a major upset to keep Texas out of the Big 12 championship game.
Wow. I like Texas. Oh, you have the Ohio State game, Minnesota. That's the early game this weekend.
That's right.
Here's the 4 best teams I've seen. So doesn't the first playoff thing comes out in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Halloween.
It's somewhere near Halloween this year.
Boy,
yeah.
Have you ever been to my neighborhood Halloween?
No.
2 in the afternoon, they're pouring margaritas.
They've got like big gates. They keep us common folk out of your neighborhood.
So the 4 best teams I've seen are, by the way, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Alabama.
Georgia.
Yeah. Okay, that's my 4.
That would be my 4. That's the way I've got them ranked right now. Clemson right outside of that, and then West Virginia right outside of that.
Come on. All right, give me your upset of the week.
Don't you?
Don't give me West Virginia. Don't give me that baloney. They have a quarterback and a bunch of. Come on.
Upset of the week. It's really tough to go on the road twice in a row, consecutive weeks. Washington's doing it this week, playing at Oregon against a really good quarterback, probably going to be the first quarterback taken.
First player
Oregon
taken.
Off of a bye as well. Washington had to play a 1-score game against UCLA last week in front of nobody at the Rose Bowl. I like Oregon over Washington this week. Herbert is a real deal. As a starter, he's 11-3, and they average 28 points or more in every single one of his starts. So watch out if you're Washington, because Washington has not looked great this season.
They've looked well. They're not great. They don't have Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Notre Dame. They don't have that kind of talent.
They do on the back end on offense, on defense, but not on the offensive side.
No. Hi everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.